In our On the Horizon video this quarter, we addressed questions about the federal deficit, the debt ceiling, and inflation. But there was one other item that we wanted to touch on separately. This issue hasn't necessarily been a big story in the US or outside of the financial media, partially because it's happening half a world away, and partially because it's to date had little impact on broad financial markets. What headlines there have been, however, have been alarming. A large Chinese property developer, Evergrande, is reportedly facing significant liquidity and cash flow issues and has a debt burden of more than $300 billion. Now, the issues Evergrande is facing aren't really disputed. What is in question is one, how quickly or how much does the Chinese government intervene? And two, what is the risk of contagion, i.e. is this a Lehman Brothers or Bear Stearns type of event that impacts the Chinese banking sector and markets outside of China? With regard to the question about government intervention, China has a long history of aiding or restructuring troubled companies. But intervention is not a given, as they have been attempting to intervene less frequently and to this point have made few public statements on Evergrande. It's hard to know what the government is prepared to do, but they certainly have the policy tools and space to prevent a systemic event, and with real estate and construction accounting for a quarter of Chinese GDP, they certainly have the incentive. In thinking about the risk of contagion, it's also worth pointing out one major difference between something like Lehman bankruptcy and Evergrande. Lehman was an investment bank that held financial assets, whereas Evergrande is a property developer that holds physical, tangible assets. When it comes to the Chinese government, or frankly any government, it's impossible to know what steps they might take and when. The general consensus and why financial markets haven't really moved much on the news is that while China may very well let Evergrande fail, they are likely to step in to limit larger issues to the Chinese financial system, and as a result, the global financial system. As always, if you have additional questions or would like to discuss your personal wealth management needs, please contact us at the email address or phone number at the close of this segment.